Hey, I'm here with my friend Alan. Hello, Alan.
Hello, Karen.
How are you, my darling? Good. It's been good days
Oh,
for you lately, hasn't it?
yeah, we finally got some warmer weather here.
Yes, it feels like spring's on its way, doesn't it?
But now I hear tomorrow at 7 in the morning, we're supposed to be getting 7 inches of snow by 7 o'clock that night.
Right. What you mean? It's really warmed up, but actually you're going to get snow.
Yeah, it's going up towards 20 degrees and then it's supposed to be 40 by Tuesday.
Right.
But tomorrow morning we're supposed to get 7 or 8 inches of snow.
Nice. Do you think you will?
I don't know.
Well, I hope you don't. I don't like snow. I mean, when you're a kid and you're about 4, it's probably lovely, but I don't know. As I've grown up,
have,
got older, I
have
just
you
see
heard
snow is a problem.
have you heard what's going on in Texas?
No.
Well, they got all kinds of snow. They got freezing weather. Their power went out. So people have been out of power for a few days.
That's crazy. I mean, like Texas is a lot hotter than us. We haven't had that kind of
Well, yeah,
winter.
Texas normally never gets any snow.
Wow.
So they're using HARP and whatever
Yeah.
other weather instruments they're controlling,
Yeah.
making chaos, making it hard for people.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's weird. Well, I remember a few years ago, you remember all that cold weather came down, right down to Florida, and you're like, people were holding towels out and they were freezing. I was like,
Uh-huh.
wow, I've never heard of them before.
I remember when I graduated from high school back in 1978, we had a winter snowstorm, probably like 12 inches or better, 14, who knows, but it was a lot of drifting, a lot of snow.
Hmm. Where was that again?
In Wisconsin.
Right. Hmm. Anyway, I asked to have a hangout with you because something, well, good for you and good for other people happened. Well, you did it.
Yeah.
You tell them, Ellen. It's your story.
On what?
It's your. I don't mean. Yeah, it's your. What happened to you? The court
Oh,
thing.
in the court?
Yeah.
In the court?
Yeah.
Well, I was at a bar, and I fell asleep in a chair. And next thing I know is I'm being handled and groped. And, and then they took me to jail, charged me with resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, and a couple
Well,
other
not
little
nice,
charges.
Alan.
And
Sorry,
I
Alan. We're just
battled the court.
Alan. 2 seconds. Me and James have got yogurts. We're just taking our yogurt tops off. Carry on now. I
Uh-huh.
didn't want to talk. I didn't want that going over your talking. Carry on then. Yeah.
And so I battled with them for a whole year. I had brought up some things to them that they claimed they didn't know nothing about in the legal system. So I had to send them a 30-page presentation on the Justinian deception. And they really didn't say much about it. They just kept trying to do their normal of trying to get me to plead to something. But I refused. And so the DA told the administrator that we're at a stalemate, and so they said they were going to drop the charges. But before they said that, her and the administrator and the DA were talking back and forth, and they mentioned that they should have me evaluated. But they said, "Oh, we're not going to do that. We'll just drop the charges."
That's
Yeah, well, I
horrible.
didn't say a word. I just held my tongue. until the very end. And then I said, well, I want you to know that I have full awareness of my mind, and everything that I've given you was the absolute truth. You can look it all up in your law books. It's all in the Bible. And you want to have my mind evaluated, well, you better have this court system evaluated on the language it's using, on the documentation. You got two languages going on.
That's enough to drive you mad, isn't it?
He said, yeah, and the lady, she was, the administrator was a lady, you know, and she said, well, yeah, I don't know very much about Latin. And I said, well, that's your legalese. It's dog Latin. It's ancient Latin without the hyphen, because you removed the hyphen now, and you got it on this documentation, all caps lettering, mixed with English, and you're making grammatical errors. And she said she agreed with me, she don't know much about this Latin.
So they don't know what
and so that was the end of it. And so that was the end of it, you know, they dropped the charges.
Because they don't know what they're doing, do they?
No, because I told them from the start who I was, that I wasn't that all caps word mark, that I was the creditor, the beneficiary of the trust, not the debtor, because the state is the agent to that word mark.
That's because you're a common law man, and they're only trying to deal with you as corporation.
Natural
and
law.
They just want you as corporation.
Also, they got trying to bring the law of the sea on the law on the law of the land. Because all these things, I'm sure well, you must be familiar with about is the judge operating under his oath on that day, and all these things that they. But from what you said, it's interesting. It seems like within their profession, they're compartmentalised. It's the same as everything else. They don't. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing at that level. It's way above them. But they rely on us being ignorant and being appointed a ward of court, which is basically you're an imbecile.
Right.
How long did it take before they dropped the charges then, Alan?
Well, it went on for a whole year, but there was at least five different times that I had to. The first time I had to appear in court, and then this COVID hit, so it was all done on telephone after that.
Wow.
The first time I established who I was, what that language was on the documentation, and right away she adjourned it.
Wow.
I stripped that mask right off her face that first day, her admiratory law of the sea.
Excellent.
And then she wanted me to get together with the DA and settle it, because the second time I appeared, I said, well, I'd like to get back to where we left off with the language on the documentation, and the lady judge said, well, I'm not going there. She said, you get together with and settle this. I said, okay. So that was the end of that. And then I got together with him.
Did you think that was going to happen, Alan?
I went into all this detail with him on this language. He said he didn't know nothing about it, so I sent him a 30-page presentation on the Justinian deception and how it ties in with the Bible, the Old Testament, how it was all done away with.
Fabulous.
And he didn't want to comment on it. He said, well, what he can do is you plead guilty to one of the charges, and we'll say time served. And at that time, I thought, well, okay, I can handle that. So he sent me all these documentations with all caps lettering mixed with English again, and I looked at it, and I said, no, I can't do this. I can't sign this. I can't send. So I waited until the next court date and told him what happened, that I can't do this. And then they set up another court date, and I talked to the DA in between again, and told him why I couldn't do this. And he said, okay, we're at a stalemate. He just wanted to know where I stood. And then the last time I called is when they finally dismissed all charges. They found out they couldn't go nowhere. I wasn't budging. And I knew what was going on. There was nothing else they could do.
Fantastic.
And also, wasn't there something else, like they asked you if you wanted to get a solicitor and you didn't?
Yeah, they wanted to have my mind evaluated, but they said they weren't going to do that.
They said that
We're
to
not
you,
going to
Alan.
do that. They were just saying that to make them look good, I think.
Yeah. Intimidation tactics.
Yeah. To make me look like I'm nuts.
And try and drag it out, so say, yeah, okay then, and fall for the first trick that they're trying to pull with getting you to say, yeah, I accept that I'm guilty, when you're not.
Right.
That's
because when I was talking to the DA the last time, he said something about esoteric knowledge. I said, well, hey, you said you didn't know nothing about it because I had to send you that 30-page presentation on it. I told him I know more esoteric knowledge than anybody in this whole county.
Sounds like they do know, but they're just trying to play in their
right.
tricks.
Yeah, they know, but they're just acting stupid.
Yeah.
Well, they can't say nothing about it anyway because they'll be incriminating themselves.
Oh, yeah. But an interesting one is trying to get a passport without committing fraud and go to any copyright, any lawyer that specialises in copyright and put that question to them, how can I apply for a passport without committing fraud? And it's interesting to see how they try and get out of answering that.
Yeah, I would. If I could do this whole thing over again, the first day I would ask for the forms for pressing charges on this documentation fraud, language identity theft.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
So a triumph then, Alan.
Yeah. Right.
It's a brilliant. Brilliant sort of example to everybody else to sort of stand your ground because they have no power.
No, they don't. All you got to say to them is, where are your capitals coming from?
Yeah.
Where do you get your capitals?
Yep.
Did they answer that, or did you get no answer?
No answer. I say it the same way when I said to bring out your Black's Law dictionaries and your 16th edition Chicago Styles Manual that explains about this sign language you got going on. They didn't want to comment on that either.
They can't, can they?
No, they can't.
Quick, he's noticed something. Drop the charges.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is it. It's they rely on in keeping us in ignorance or making it appear to be too difficult to get through. But,
yeah. I had him in checkmate the first day and kept him there throughout the whole game.
Excellent.
It kind of made me laugh when I heard the lady judge administrator say about going to that language. She said, "I'm not going there."
So you must be like doubly relieved because the charges aren't there anymore and you won.
Right.
So a double bonus.
There's very little actually they could do to you in the future because they know what they're going to come up against now.
She kept trying to get me to get a lawyer, and I kept telling her, "No, I'm my own lawyer."
Yeah.
I said, "All lawyers are for the bar."
We don't mess with Alan then.
No. I told him I told him I stand over you on this knowledge. They didn't like that either.
The thing is, I mean, you just got to ask yourself, well, who's the lawyer going to be working for, really? Who's paying his wages?
That's right.
They don't work for us. They work for the courts. They're just playing a part. One plays the executioner. One plays the...
Now, James, isn't there an amendment to the Constitution that says that no lawyer shall hold public office?
I'm not familiar with. Is that the US Constitution? I mean, I don't know with the situation with the UK on that either, but probably there must be something in there.
Yeah, because lawyers are working for the Crown Bar of London.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be able to hold a office of the Constitution. They're doing treason because because they're working for the bar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Mm. Funny how they all have to come to London and cross the bar, which is a reference to the sea, the sandbar, the law of the sea, and then because you go in a dock.
And I got all this knowledge come from Romley Stewart. He's from Australia.
He's the Justinian Deception Channel, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and his friend. He's got a friend that does videos with him.
Yeah, I've seen some of his work. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, he pointed out with the Queen and her oath in sincerity instead of in all sincerity.
Right.
So legally, that can be understood in a very different way from
English. It excludes everything out of it.
I mean, it seems obvious that any speech that the Queen would make will be finely checked and word perfect. For that to miss out that word all says that that's not been missed out. That's not a mistake. She's actually saying the truth. And
it's the terms that the master's using. The people don't know what the terms of the words mean.
Yeah. It's listening carefully to what they're saying. It's like if in this country, if you're arrested, they will say you have the right to remain silent, but anything you do say can and will be used against you. That doesn't say can and will be used in your defence.
That's right.
So
it's all word magic. Yeah, it's totally mind control witchcraft.
Yeah. Well, you've got it shown right there with the judge. You've got a wolf in sheep's clothing with that sheepskin headpiece and the black robes, the gavel. I can't remember the significance of that, but that's got a ritual aspect to that.
Saturnalian Brotherhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and all that stress is gone now as well.
Yeah.
Was it that you were? Did you think it was going to happen, or did you think, oh, I'm going to do this? But
well, I had confidence, so yeah, I figured sooner or later they're going to have to. I was curious what they were going to do, how they're going to, deal with this. Because the further they get, the more exposed it's going to be. So I was already waiting. I don't care how you want to go at it. Let's get it in the paper.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I won't want that in the paper because
let's put it in the news here. What's going on?
They don't want to. They don't.
Court system getting exposed.
Well, I mean, it's even down to the question of what type of court is it as well. Is it a crown court? Is it a common law court? What court is it? What laws are they operating under?
Yeah.
As opposed to what they're implying.
It's all crazy.
Well, I mean, a solicitor, they're soliciting. That's prostitution.
Pirateering.
Yeah.
And piracy is a crime.
Yeah.
So they're violating all kinds of crimes.
Yeah. It's been shown. I was listening to a friend on another channel. The taxi drivers in London have been up in arms with all these road closures, and the judge ruled that the mayor of London has got to remove them. Of course, it hasn't happened, so it doesn't matter what the judge rules when it's the system. They're still going to do what they want to do. They're operating totally illegally in every aspect of our lives. but they keep very quiet about that part.
Yeah, they kind of worded it in court in a way, because I asked the lady judge if she was able to look at that presentation I sent the DA, because I wrote on it for them to show the administrator this, and she said, yeah, she kind of got to see it, but she didn't really want to comment, you know.
Yeah.
Because that's showing them, the whole presentation is showing them the knowledge I have against them, you know. They knew exactly what they were up against.
Sorry, just dropped you, Alan. Sorry. I've got my bum in James's face.
It didn't hurt.
No, James had my bum instead. Oh.
Yeah,
I just got maybe second.
It's sort of not just the courts, it's everything. When they talk about free range eggs, all that means, as far as the industry is concerned, is they've let the chickens out, and that's probably the first time they've seen daylight for about 10 minutes before it's all over. You've got things not appearing in ingredients on products, and they're claiming it's part of the process, so it doesn't appear as an ingredient. So
right.
they're so sneaky in everything they do. You've got to be wise as serpents with them every time, every step of the way.
It's the sad part of it is these people that go to police academy to become police officers, and now they're indoctrinated into this.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going out there doing this stuff.
Well, the police,
either they know what they're doing, or they're totally ignorant on it, and they need to be woken up on it, because sooner or later they're going to have to make a decision of who they stand with and stand for.
Yeah, I got asked last year. This police officer came up to me, wanted to know if I'd heard anything about a domestic incident that actually happened 12 hours previous. And I said, excuse me, I said, who are you? And he said, I'm special officer. I said, oh, you're an officer, so that means you work for a corporation. I said, I have nothing to say to you, and I turned my back on him.
Right.
But I mean, just ask them, say, are you operating under your oath? And ask them to actually recite their oath. And I think most of them don't even know it.
Yeah, but see, we stripped 3 masks off the judges, and so that now they're standing there equal to us.
Yeah.
And they have no authority over us.
That's it. Well, it's only the only power they have over us is what they trick us into giving them.
That's right.
Or making us believe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's all a make-believe.
Yeah, because see, I had committed no crime. The police officers came to the bar. This is what it said in the police report. That she came to the bar, and the bartender pointed to a man leaning against the bar. He won't leave. And so the police officer started talking to him, and I ignored her. And then she gave me an order to leave the bar. So I didn't respond, but I started walking to the door. And as I was going through the doorway, she said something else to me. I did not respond, and then she grabbed me.
Yeah.
So then that's right there in her own words that she assaulted me.
Yeah.
And all this disorderly conduct comes after she touched me.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's sort of an open admission that they're in the wrong.
By rights, I should have pressed charges on that police officer for assaulting me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting the way things are going. The more people sort of hear about this sort of thing and think, oh right, start looking into it. Knowledge is power, definitely in this case.
Yeah.
Well done, Alan.
It's fantastic. This has turned out to be a brilliant day.
Oh, you've made James's day, Alan.
Yeah. Well, the more positive signs, the more positive testimonials, the more it lifts all our spirits, and we change the balance of things. We change the balance of power. They do not have power over us. It's the illusion. There's more of us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan, well, thank you very much for that. You must be quite pleased.
Yeah.
Giving us all
This is Robert Foertsch with the Truth Network. I've got some very important...
That's it, he's gone now. Sorry, Robert, don't mean to cut you off. Yeah, I'm really pleased, because you were quite chuffed telling me that the other day, wasn't it? I've tried to have a hangout with you yesterday about it, but we've got to today. So you must be feeling quite good. So don't mess with Alan.
No, it's good. It's an inspiration.
Next time if they mess with me like that, next time I'm going to start serving papers and pressing charges.
Yeah. Do you make videos at all?
Just a few little ones I've made.
I was going to say this would be a brilliant topic for people to.
I have trouble with if I play a video when I'm going live on Facebook, it doesn't want to pick up the sound very well sometimes. Half of the video you can't hardly hear it, and then all of a sudden it's playing perfectly. So I don't know what's going on.
That's them playing silly nonsense again. Probably it's all probably to get a negative reaction as you make you feel angry and.
Right. Censoring me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, they don't have to burn books anymore. It's just a push of a button and change it. I mean, and most things on Wikipedia, to go and look at them and see when they've been updated, it's always sort of within the last month or so. And it's like, what are they're rewriting history right under our eyes on these screens.
Yeah.
Same as Google Earth.
Yeah.
They keep updating those. All this continuous updates for the phone, and it's like we either agree to the terms and conditions of their updates, or you get locked out the system. You can't use this, or you got to buy a new product. They make them obsolete on purpose, so you've got to go buy another one. It's all by design.
Yeah, puppet masters pulling the strings.
Yeah, very much. But it's like it's like the Wizard of Oz. It looks terrifying, but it's just an illusion.
We've got to learn how to cut the strings so the puppet masters don't have the control.
Yeah. The problem we're up against is they've sort of made the infrastructure with sort of daily living, obtaining food, which relies on earning money. They've made it as difficult as possible to break out the system.
Well, we've allowed them to control all the corporations, and that controls all the food and everything of our aspects of our life.
Yeah, very much, unfortunately, but it's not too late. The tide is definitely turning.
Well, that's that old saying, never too late.
Yeah. It's about time the tide went out.
Yeah.
And took this law of the sea and the sea people with them.
You know, if we can get the church to wake up and get the people that are holding these offices to wake up,
yeah,
it would be a great start.
Well, I think there are glimmers of hope with this, because I think the lower levels, the councillors, and the volunteer, and some of the volunteer positions, and the lower levels like teachers and things, and even some of the millionaire class, they're realising that they're in the same boat as us, and
right.
It's just this. It's the same with, I mean, Rachel L now, who used to be on a program called Dragon's Den. She's a businesswoman. She sort of lost everything. This system is looking for the top 1% of businesses. I think she said in the first 5 years or first 2 years, there's a huge percentage actually fails. They're looking to cream off the very top, the things where they can speculate and make the most money. The rest they don't care about. So there are a lot of people who are businessmen, or I mean, small businesses are the ones that are being assaulted. The cafes, the bars, the restaurants and things, the independent traders. So it's in their interests to be on our side on this, because we're not their enemy. It's terrible. I mean, because the ramifications. I mean, you've got a small business. Some of them will have employees, which they're then having to lay off. That's increasing the numbers of unemployment, and then dependent on the state for benefits and things as well. So it's in everybody's best interest to sort of realise that they're being played, and it's got dire consequences.
See, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Is these people that have been indoctrinated for so long.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's so hard for them to come out of it.
It's finding the right topic to talk to people. The things that are impact them most. So, I mean, if I was talking about NASA and say, well, who's paying for all this? You don't get a say. It's the money they're taking off you that you're funding with this. But did they ask you? What do you get? What are we getting back in return? A load of sci-fi films and a crappy story and a piece of moon rock. That's not worth the millions and billions that they've extracted with that fake story. And then it begs the question of what are they really doing with that money? What is that a cover story for? Because
their media and stuff.
Oh yeah, but when we're talking billions of dollars and things, and I mean even the world, this thing about there's a world debt. Well, my question is, with any utility bill, you get a red final demands. Well, okay, if there's a world debt, can somebody present the bill so we can see who it's payable to? Oh no, they won't expose themselves. They won't. They want the money, but they don't want to let you know who it's allegedly owed to.
Well, yeah, NASA, they get $50 million a day to operate.
Yeah, I mean, and what as a business model, what are you getting back for that 50 million a day?
Yeah, what evil are they using that 50 million a day for?
Yeah, it's definitely, well, whatever it is, all I know is it's not in our best interests.
No.
So it's
they're using that 50 million to tighten the grip on us a little harder.
Yeah, it's just squeeze a bit more, get blood out of a stone.
And all these cities are built as a computer board.
Yeah. Well, the tactic they seem to be using is, if we can't move you into cities, we'll build more houses around you and we'll make another city. But this is the thing, doesn't matter whether you live in the countryside or a built-up area, we're all in a city. It's called scarcity.
Well, yeah, and then they got the cell towers. And they put these cell towers in everywhere, and that's what's going to be in control over us, is these cell towers.
Well, the trouble is most people are distracted by this fear of they might catch this thing that doesn't even exist.
Right. So, well, yeah, and they're going to use, and it's all covering up 5G, what that's going to be doing to us.
To me, all this says is it smacks of sheer desperation that they've got to do all this at the same time because they're running out of time. I think they know this as well, and I hope they're listening in. Because they're the ones that are in fear of exposure. I mean, you start going down that route of selling out, you're now living in a gated community. You're fearful of someone stealing your possessions. You're fearful of somebody else that's going to try and take it away from you. I mean, what an awful way to live.
Right.
Even at the, shall we say, the more human aspects of it, without going into the more depraved aspects. But I'd rather have nothing and live without being in fear. It's like a great weight of the world off the shoulders.
Right.
Because they're trying to squash us down in every possible way. In some ways you could say we're like Atlas, but it's like, let go of the ball as well.
Yeah.
They've got us in a spin.
Yeah. Yeah, they got us in a spin with the ball spinning theory, and Baal worship.
Yeah, well, it's funny how that. I mean, to do with courts, you can be released on bail.
Yeah, yeah. It's a racket.
Yeah, Well, it's a court, isn't it? Like a tennis court.
Yeah.
You're the ball being
Yeah, that's right.
bounced backwards and forwards between the prosecution
And
and defence.
and everything I said to them was an ace.
Yeah.
They couldn't retrieve it.
Excellent.
Well, it's brilliant. Really good.
Oh, I had a lot of time thinking it out.
That's that is wonderful news. That really is. That has made my day.
Yeah, and I did it all without any lawyer.
That's the thing, because they work for them.
That's right.
That's
I've got
the deception.
I got some friends around here. My sister's husband, he was surprised that I even got them to dismiss it like that.
It gives people hope. I mean, straight away in courts, it's shown there. You've got a defence lawyer and a prosecution lawyer, but it's playing two sides because they both work for the same organisation.
Well, I told them there ain't going to be no legalese here.
No.
No sorcery. I ain't going to be used as a pawn to summons the dead.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I mean, a summons, you can't summons the living.
You know, I said to him, I said, I'm the creditor, I'm the Christ.
Yeah.
I claimed kingsmen on the land, and I claim this chambers as part of my kingdom.
Wonderful. That really is wonderful.
I told him I run this. I said you could look at all your spell books, your codexes, your canons. They're all spells.
Yeah. That's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. I don't think you'll end up backing. I don't think they want to see you again. Actually, I think
No.
they say if that name comes up, we don't want to know.
No, they don't want to have no business with me.
No, that's a real victory. You're an inspiration to us all.
I think everybody needs to do the same thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Claim their Christ creditor birth certificate.
Yeah.
Get their name, get that all caps name off of everything, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I appreciate you coming on and talking to us about that, Alan.
I thank you too.
It's good
And
to
thank
hear
you,
from,
friend.
you know, you're part of our community, and it's good to hear that you managed to do, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's good.
Yeah, I was probably the only one that's ever done it in my county.
Whoa.
Brilliant. Well, how does it feel? What's it feel like to be a first? Top of the class.
Feels good.
He's
It
a
does.
first.
It feels good.
He's a first.
It's like all my 10 years of hard research is paying off.
That is wonderful. That really is.
Is there anything else that you want to say, Alan? What about a message for the people?
For the people to do some research and get some knowledge of what this system is all about.
That's about right, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. It's
This system.
Because it's the beast system. It's totally the beast system, the establishment.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the unanswered questions we'll find once we've got rid of this obstacle, which is this system. Then the answers to everything else will just come, because there won't be something saying you can't go there, you can't check that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think the speed that they're rolling everything out all at the same time, it's like a travelling circus putting on a final show. There's loads of side shows, there's loads of distractions, as well as the main event.
Yeah.
And I think humanity has been put in the crazy house, and we're looking at distorted mirrors, and suddenly a lot of people are believing the distortions are a true reflection.
Yeah.
They're not seeing that they're just illusions and they're exaggerations. Strangely or not so strangely really, with mirrors, it's all about concave and convex and lensing and how light refraction.
What's your thought, James, on the concave, flat Earth ball spinning?
Well, I proposed that we're actually on, if you viewed an eyeball from the sides, that we're actually on the iris, and the firmament is the equivalent of the lens of the eye. I tried to come up with something that would sort of stop the arguments between the different beliefs in shapes and things, and focus on the system that is causing all this division. And ironically, it was people who are claiming to be members of the Flat Earth Society were the ones that were coming back with adverse comments, and they were sort of saying, but we're nothing to do with flat earthers. And I thought, well, that sounds ridiculous. You've got a Flat Earth Society, you've got a community of people who are saying the Earth's flat, and you're not on the same side.
Right.
That to me, that didn't make sense. I didn't get nobody from hollow Earth or concave Earth or who believes that we're on a spinning ball came back with anything at me and attacked me. It was only the people claiming to be members of the Flat Earth Society, and I thought the irony of it.
And all they're doing is discrediting it.
Yeah, it's clear from their actions they're the controlled opposition.
Right.
Or I challenge anyone to prove me wrong on that one.
So that's kind of telling you right there that there's something to the flat Earth.
Oh yeah, it's you can see it. You haven't got to go anywhere.
Well, all my research on it, what I picture in my head on it. Well, yeah, all water's level.
Yeah.
There's only one ocean. Where's the curve?
Well, the curve is the limit of how far you can. If you had an unrestricted.
Right, that's perspective.
Yeah, you'd see an equal distance, 360 degrees all around you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd say to people, it's 73 natural water level. So yeah, it's not exactly flat because you've got mountains, you've got valleys and things. So yeah, it's not flat. But how do you explain the water then?
Right. Because even on a ball or concave, how can you have creeks and rivers flowing?
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it don't.
But I mean, I've proved it in many ways to my satisfaction as far as the physical Earth goes, because from Worthing on the south coast in the summer on a clear day, you can see the Isle of Wight. It's probably about 50 miles. I've proved it going the other way from Worthing to going towards the east part of Sussex, going towards Dover and the English Channel, and that's about 25 miles. And when I'm on the beach, I can see level across.
Right.
So, I mean, the irony is that I mean, this calculation on the curvature, I don't think anybody really is familiar with that until they start looking into flat Earth, and that disproves it. I mean, I'd give them a little bit more benefit of the doubt if they said, okay, we admit we've got the figures wrong. But when you can prove that their figures are wrong and they've got no answer to that's pretty much conclusive proof on that.
I just seen the other day that they got this gun that shoots a bullet 1,000 miles and hits the bullseye.
Yeah. Anything laser guided as well has got to go in a straight line.
Right. And if it's going 1,000 miles in a straight line,
yeah,
and hitting the bullseye, where's the curve?
Exactly. It's incredible. It really is.
Now, what do you think about? Now we know there's like what, 5, 7 continents.
That we know of.
Okay, now, I've seen a map of the Chinese of 1,000 years ago that's got 33 or so more continents out there.
Oh, the Piri Reis map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, quite possible. The fact that
And then it shows also about that we're like in a puddle, and then there's other puddles around us,
yeah.
and then other puddles around.
Yep.
Well, the whole thing with the idea of space, they're trying to get you to accept the idea of something that has no edge to it. But if it's a level plane, and the first thing I say is, well, where's the edge? Well, you're asking me to accept the idea that there's no edge to space. So what's the difference?
Yeah, and then you're thinking, well, we're on an infinite plane.
Yeah. Well, the answer to where's the edge, it's well, that's where you're going, because you've got cognitive dissonance and you can't see what is plainly obvious right in front of you.
There is no edge.
No, there's a horizon which
Right.
is, the root word is horizontal. It shares the same root.
Right.
You've got sea level. You don't have sea curve.
Right.
There's no arguments they can come back with, really.
Well, yeah, there's certain words in the language that are standing out, red flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
There's certain words they just can't get bypass.
well, it's other things like people who say they've sailed round the world. Yeah, they probably have, east to west, but they've never gone north or south and come back round again. Nobody has gone in a boat and said, right, I'm heading straight towards the North Pole, I'm going round the other side, past the South Pole, and coming back to where I started. They always go either east or west, go round Africa.
They're little actors, that's
Yeah.
why.
Right.
Because you can't do it. It's
No,
not
because if you
possible to do.
go west or east, you're just going in a circular direction.
Yeah, that's it. But you can't go north-south.
No. So even if you're standing at the North Pole and you got 4 directions to go, what are those 4 directions?
Mm.
It ain't west, it ain't east, it's all south.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go from north in a straight line, anywhere.
Yeah.
In that circle, that 360,
Yeah.
you're going south. You're going south.
There's some other ludicrous answers you get. I think it was a guy in Australia. I can't even remember the channel name. He wrote to the Australian Antarctic, whatever they are, and said, shouldn't there be 24-hour shadows around that flagpole, but you're cutting 8 hours of film footage? And they said, you'll have to contact the United States, because we send all our data to them. The answer that came back was, it's expensive to make the film footage, so we don't waste film when it's dark. Well, hold on a minute, it's supposed to be 24 hours of daylight. So that answer doesn't make sense at all. Then I actually happened to watch a program on YouTube. It was nothing to do with flat Earth or the shape of the Antarctic or anything. And right near the end of the program, bearing in mind I think this was filmed in the January of whichever year it was, they said we had to wait till 8 o'clock in the morning for the sun to come up to start filming. It's like, well, in January, shouldn't it be 24 hours of daylight? So why are you waiting for the sun to come up?
Yeah.
So again, it's another dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Because I've been halfway, the sort of going north in Sweden, in early July of 2016. I witnessed the sun going down behind a sort of mountain range at 11:30 at night. An hour later, it was coming back up the other side of it again, and it was like 23 hours of daylight. So that side of things, yeah, but not in the south, or the not if you go outwards is probably the correct term.
Right.
But it's funny. I went into this when I first heard of the idea of the flat Earth. I thought it must be some group of people with some sort of medieval mindset. Oh, I disprove this easy. And the more I looked into it, I thought, actually, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. And the questions kept stacking up, and there's no answers from the spinning ball model that can satisfactory. Well, they can't even come up with answers.
Yeah, the heliocentric.
Yeah.
This all about the 7 planetary gods.
Yeah. It's, well, again, why aren't we seeing totally different constellations over the years? Why throughout even the history that they give us, you've got Orion and the Plough and the Great Bear, they don't change. They just keep coming round and round.
And Polaris never moves.
No.
And where does this wobble?
Yeah. Well, the Polaris is the polarity, isn't it? In fact, I don't say the Antarctic, I say the Anti-Arctic, because it's where they've turned things inside out, trying to say the land masses around the they would call the North Pole, and they're trying to make this artificial South Pole that doesn't exist. I mean, even that, they say, oh, we can't put the marker in its true position because there's nothing there. Well, I'm sorry, but you've managed to put it in the ice there. All the maps you show me show it's ice. What's the difference? Why can't you put the marker in its true position?
Right.
And they can't answer questions like that either. The 33 other continents, well, it'd be nice to be able to go there without being turned away before you can even get anywhere near.
They're well trained in protecting the glitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the Royal New Zealand Air Force patrol and keep people away.
Yeah. But
it's the same probably if you try and go to the centre of the Earth, you probably get turned away.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to say thanks for sticking up for your rights. Alan.
Yep. Well, like I say, after doing all the research, I felt it was my honor to do so.
But it's also a superb sort of education for everybody. Sort of the more effort you put in, like you've done 10 years of research, the more effort you put in, the more you'll benefit from it, which you clearly have in this case.
Right.
And that's sort of, excuse the pun using the word in this case.
It's kind of like I felt I had power, and I let myself into that situation just to beat it.
Yeah. It's stepping into the unknown, and
who would do that, right?
You deserve a medal, as it were, but not.
I went out and proved a point.
Yeah. That's a victory for humanity. Sitting here with a big smile on my face. But no, that's wonderful news. And we sure need that in this month with all the things that are presented to us, all trying to get us fearful.
Yeah.
But it's
because I mean that's all the police do is put you in fear as soon as they put the lights on.
Yeah.
As soon as you see those lights come on behind you, your feet feel like they're on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. That's an enlightenment, definitely, an empowerment. Well, I've said before, M-power is me power. It's the power of oneself.
Well, now if everybody was driving cars and they had their guns on their side, those police wouldn't be pulling you over so quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 second. What were you saying, Alan?
Oh, I was telling James it was wonderful talking to him.
It's been an absolute pleasure. It's in some ways it's like I'm almost jealous, but I'm not jealous because we're not on a different side. We're on the same side. So this is a thing I wish humanity would realise. They've got a clear and present danger that is working against all of us.
See, now I wanted to say, I do kind of see some of the ideas of the concave because we're in a ball, not on a ball.
Yeah.
We're in an egg.
Yeah.
And a lot of other things about it too kind of interests me.
Yeah.
You know, like the torus field.
Yeah.
You know, some of these ideas that a friend of mine has.
Well, I go
I'm kind of like a mixture of
Alan, we're living in it all, I think. I mean, I don't promote his work anymore, but for a few years we were into the square flat Earth map. But once we saw that, Antarctica is much higher, behind Russia is lower. We're living in something that's convex, concave, and it's flat, all in one.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
I feel that the definitive answer we can find once we've got rid of the system that is preventing us from finding it.
Right.
But yeah, this is a war. This is like a war of the worlds. This is against humanity.
Yeah, war of the mind. Yeah.
Well, it came to me earlier. I remembered the narration by Richard Burton, and it says, he says in that, who would have thought our microscopic allies would get rid of the Martians? And it's like, that's interesting with what's being rolled out, which everybody is most fearful of. They've sort of flipped that script in a way, you could say.
Right.
But maybe a clue in that as well. Maybe this is their Achilles heel. When people start to think, hang on, this doesn't make sense. So when I'm sitting at a table in a restaurant, I don't have to have something where you wouldn't be able to put food in your mouth. But then when I go to the bathroom, I've got to put this thing on to stand up. So does that mean that the thing is in some sort of stratosphere, and if you're sitting down it's not going to affect you, but as soon as you stand up, I mean, how ridiculous is that?
Right.
Oh dear, that alone, it's... And then
Well,
even the official statistics and things released by the CDC and in the UK, it contradicts what the media says anyway.
Yeah, especially when they're throwing that pseudo science at you.
Yeah.
All those things that, you can't feel the Earth spinning.
Well, with the UK, that it rested on the mathematical model of somebody in Cambridge that was their sort of justification for doing these lockdowns, and where it's like everything else, like the curvature. Sorry, the maths is wrong, completely wrong. But I think it was Cornwall. This, I can't even remember the population for the county, but it's sort of effectively, say you've locked an entire county down of, say, just hypothetically 7,000 people for 3 cases. That's something doesn't seem right there. That you're going to shut down businesses, you're going to affect the economy for 3 people when there's thousands at stake.
They want to kill the 1,000 just for the 3.
Yeah. Same with the Titanic. They want to kill the 3 and they don't care if they kill the 1,000.
I did say, I don't mean to interrupt there. Look, I've been finding, we all know it, but loads of things are wrong and the news isn't what they tell us. They could have done the same with the Titanic. They could have pretended there was a Titanic, always used the sister ship, what was called the sister ship, then told us they'd sunk, told us all this stuff, because even Josh, who we had to hang out before, he said they didn't find any bones at all, or like rings, or there was nothing like this they found. So they could have made that, pretended we believed it.
We don't even.
Yeah, how many hoaxes have they pulled on us? You know.
Yeah.
Many.
I wouldn't even want to put a figure on that.
I think every day, actually, Alan.
Yeah.
It's every day.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And then you get all the
I believe. I don't believe.
You get all the silly little tricks, like with if you try and monetize, and then they start messing around, and basically
Can I tell you the thing that I've watched the most, James, with the adverts? Practically everything I went to had gambling on it.
Yeah.
Gambling. Why are YouTube allowing that? All the things they do and say, why are they allowing us to keep watching gambling ads and gambling ads and gambling ads? That's wrong.
Well, their justification or their excuse will be, well, it does say on the advert in very small letters, gamble responsibly. That'll be their get out. But basically, anything in the system, terms and conditions is like, we do what we want. We just say it goes against community standards, or give you some equally vague answer to everything. And that's the way everything seems to operate these days.
Yeah, they control Facebook, so they're going to put those fact checkers out there that are total lies, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. Well, I'd quote that back, and if somebody said something to me, I'd say, sorry, it's been fact checked and found to be false. I don't have to. I mean, people can assume that I mean there's a team of people that are checking facts. It's because that's the way they play it on us. It's like when you're talking about Facebook and it goes against community standards. Well, whose community? It's not our community, clearly.
There.
It goes against.
Yeah, it's their community.
It goes against their policy.
Yeah. But their policy is not.
That's right. It's always against their policy.
Yeah.
Their policy of deception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be honest because that goes against.
Not only are they showing the deep fake, they've got adverts on it, which are deep faked.
Yeah. But what gets me is what I experienced in Ohio is when you get an advert come up on the television for I don't know, say headache tablets, and it not only is there somebody narrating it, it actually scrolls across the bottom of the screen and says side effects, and normally what's listed as the first side effect is death. So why are people not seeing this?
Right.
Unfortunately, they are blind.
Years of indoctrination makes them blind.
I mean, what's it cost to even see a doctor in the States? Because I mean, I think it's about $50 before you even start. When I was there, so I assume it would have gone up by now. That's without your prescription, your prescribed poison.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to say, Alan?
Oh, just thank you for having this conversation.
That's all right. Sharing with the community, and it's a really good piece of news. And well done for doing what you did. And on your own.
Yeah.
You never told me.
Well, it's nice to have it as a big public announcement.
No, you never told me.
I thought I had told you before what I was going through.
Well, you might have mentioned it so long ago and I'd just forgotten, but I don't remember it. But I'm really pleased for you, Alan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's an inspiration to everybody. Definitely.
And also, it meant we had to have another hangout, and I get Alan on the microphone again, because you're not overly keen on it, are you?
What's that?
You're not overly keen on, like, well, we'll call it a hangout. You're a bit shyer person, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I nab him for a hangout.
Well,
but he loves me, so Alan's a good boy.
If someone had said to me 20 years ago, do you know you'll be making sort of as like an online public diary, just talking to a camera, I'd have said that, Mr. Steve. No way would I do that.
No, James loves it, don't you, James?
Well, it's all about getting a message out there. I mean, I was amazed. It's like the experience of getting that ringing in the ears and sleepless nights and bed and night sweats and things. And then when you start talking to people in Facebook groups and things, you find out you're not the only one. And it's like, well, if we're all experiencing it, what's causing it? Let's get to the bottom of all
I've got
this.
a good community, don't I, James?
Yeah. It's a
full
family.
of lots of intelligent people.
Well, it's just,
most of them are more intelligent than me.
Well, it's not knowledge is not intelligence, but it's just like when you can see it's like that doesn't make sense, that doesn't add up. Then and you start asking questions instead of just blindly accepting what we're told. Which
exactly.
More and more just seems to be a lie.
It's all a lie.
Yeah.
It's horrible because even when you think everything's a lie, you wake up and you realise even, you've said everything, but even that's a lie, and that it's like, oh my God, it's all just horrible.
It never seems to end.
It's cruel what they're doing.
There's no aspect to our life of every minute of every day where we're not being assaulted through either radio frequencies, whatever's in the air, what's in the food, what's in the water. It's a continuous bombardment, but it also shows that we're pretty indestructible collectively anyway. So it shows we've got.
You got to look at it. You got to look at it where they did the reset. They had children.
Yeah.
And then children, and then now they're building a culture, teaching them the heliocentric model and all the lies.
Yeah.
No question. Yeah. And now after how many generations, we are starting to wake up to this.
Yeah. It's amazing how many of us there really are. The irony is it's only the system would actually know the true figure, because most people there they subscribe to more than one channel, so you can't even really sort of get an accurate figure of what percentage of the world is awake or aware and if something's wrong. And I mean, we don't even know if there are 7.5 billion people in the world. There could be more, there could be less.
Have you ever seen those videos on the Golden Web?
No.
Yeah, you told me about that.
I think you need to see these Golden Web. There's part 1 and 2 and 3.
Okay, what's it actually about?
That's all about actually everything, what's going on, who's doing it, the words.
Excellent. Yeah, I'd like to see those.
Okay, well, shall we finish this hangout, and then you two can talk about it for a minute. Alan, for this, we'll say goodbye, but thank you very much, Alan, and well done. Thank you, James. Thank you, chat room.
Thank you, Karen, and it's been a pleasure to talk to you, Alan.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to have the hangout. I like a bit of power to the people. Yeah.
Boy, I just looked in the mirror and I got this big red lipstick on my face.
Yeah, for you, Alan. Okay. We're going to say goodbye here, but thanks a lot again, Alan.
Thank you, Karen.